Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Luna Nightshade here, and this is your Nightly Shade. Before I begin, the lovely people from Moor decided to give me a disclaimer that I have to say word for word, just in case someone, I don't know, writes a bad letter. So, here it is. Disclaimer, : nothing that is that a comma? That should be a comma. Luna Nightshade, will say or have said is the opinions shared of Blackmore or any affiliated company. That should make sure nobody's panties are in a twist. Okay, dear listeners. Today I'd like to talk to you about working with 18-year-olds. And I'm not talking about the 18-year-olds that are mature and have been working for quite a bit of time. I'm talking about the 18-year-olds that are still in high school. You know, the ones that peaked at 17 and are still trying to hold on to glory. Let's start with the age difference. It doesn't matter how old you are, working with 18-year-olds who actually act their age are annoying. First, it starts with, well, my boyfriend totally said this. And we just don't have time for that, period, because I don't care what your boyfriend said, and I don't really like your friends either. And if you don't like your friends, why are you friends with them? And then it doesn't help that when you're only 22, they look at you and go, you're totally old like the owner. Really? Because I'm old like a 40-year-old at 22. It's a shame because when you asked me how old you were, I thought you were 30. It's a shame you're only 18, but you have so much makeup on, I thought that the Grim Reaper would be underneath too. Let's go on to maturity level. Maturity level isn't really about age, but more about experience. Someone that has learned to work from a young age generally has more experience than someone that just wants to work so I can totally buy a new prom dress. Not saying that that's everybody. Some people actually want to buy that prom dress. But when that prom dress is just as trashy as your face is, it really doesn't matter now, does it? And now, let's go on to being the adult. Now, maturity level isn't everything. Some people are very mature and very wise, just don't act their age. And it's totally fine to have the maturity of a 30-year-old when you typically act like a 16-year-old as long as you aren't annoying. But if you have the maturity of a 12-year-old, look like a 30-year-old, and act your age, it's a little bit annoying when all you have to hear is, so, like, this guy totally came up to me, and I was like, oh my god, you're super hot. But then his girlfriend came up, and I'm totally cuter than she is, and I totally don't have time for her this and that. Bitch, I don't care. Not only is she fake, you're fake. You'll both go to the same damn school. Pardon me, dear listeners. I've had a long shift with a girl that I swear if she asks me one more question about something totally normal, I'm going to punch her in the face. Do you get carded still at, like, places where you drink? Yes, I get carded where I drink, and just because you have some random adult buy you liquor outside of a gas station doesn't make you any different than I am. So the next thing I want to talk about isn't particularly a problem. I mean, everybody reads their horoscope and cares very deeply about their zodiac signs unless you're a Libra and you don't for some reason believe that you have one. But you can't blame anything you do on the fact that you are your zodiac sign. Yours truly is a Gemini, and she doesn't blame being a Gemini on being two-faced. I will tell you right now that I will smile in your face and think that you're a whore at the exact same time, but I can admit that and go about my day. But if you happen to tell me, like, I totally don't want to work in the front because I'm a Gemini and sometimes I like people and sometimes I don't. So I just want to work in the back. I don't care, heifer, if you are a Pisces or an Aries. If you don't get your ass up by that cash register, I'm going to make you wash the dishes, which you won't touch anyway with those fake-ass nails of yours, now will you? Anyway, you can't blame your zodiac sign on who you are. That's just how you were born, or rather what time and under what star you were born. That doesn't change who you are. It's okay if you're not jovial as a Pisces, or you're not a leader as an Aries, or you're not very work central as a Capricorn. But you can't use that as a crutch. I don't have time for someone who won't do work just because of when they were born. I blame you for being stupid, not when you were born, but how you're acting right now. And the last thing, which I feel like needs to be addressed for both you and the 18-year-old you're working with, you both need Jesus. Yes, that person's annoying.
Yes, it's like totally great that I get to work with you.
She legitimately means that. Because at the end of the day, she's a child. She's peaked earlier than the rest of us. She thinks that every day is about her makeup and who likes her and if she's very important. So maybe you should just make her feel like that for the length of time that she'll be that way. Because she just got engaged after 3 months of knowing her high school boyfriend. She's got a lot going on and will have a lot going on for the rest of her life because of her choices. But you, being the mature adult that you are, can rise above all that. So, when she looks at you at the end of the day and says,
"Thanks for working very hard with me,"
she means it. So just look at her with a smile and say, "Well, you better stay safe, honey."
"Aw, thank you."
Oh, bless her heart. This has been Luna Nightshade here with your Nightly Shade. And if you enjoy my shade, I'm also on Twitter as Little Shadefish. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all be safe now. Luna Nightshade is a production of Blackmore Production, written and voiced by Clover Grayson. Follow Blackmore on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. To listen to shows like this, find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and our personal website, blackmoreproductions.com. Blackmore, swim against the current.